2412.
Veteran crisis hotline calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. Detecting 12, check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 start, take your shots.
Also still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Thanks. Anyone else close by this result, let me know. First number. 10-4. Offender in custody?
Sweet. Can you let us supervisor know where's attached?
1830.
Yeah, possible Sheridan and Wilson.
The first number.
10-4.
I'm sorry, wait a copy your lunch location. Try that one more time, puppy. 847 Fulton. 847 Fulton, okay. 4235 to be the north of domestic battery at 1815 Winchester, 1815 Winchester. Any speeding and caller in the order of the vehicle. Alright, thank you. 111-117, Robert 4222, you guys are okay over there? Someone shot there. Alright, do you see that the is it domestic related? We're going to try to do for apology.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. On December 26, 2024, I asked the community, why is it last seen on 226? A few days after that, I wrote a letter to send out to all agencies, and I posted it as a community post, encouraging any of the community to copy and send as well. Every Sebastian show that we've discussed since then, I've continued to ask that question because to me it was the most important question that was not being asked. I want to say thank you to the community because together we can make waves in the ocean of truth and justice. Now, our community put on the pressure since December. There's been a lot of other communities putting on the pressure as well here in the last couple of weeks, and I want to say thank you to them as well. Together, now we finally have a correction from just a couple days ago, last seen on February 25th. This here is a short collection of clips that I put together from when we first asked that question on December 26th. Why does it say last seen on February 26th? Who last seen him, if they seen him on February 26th, and what location if he was last seen on February 26th? Now, you may hear some things a couple times in a row, but this is a collection of pleas. And I want to show this to you guys because of you and all of us together. The pleas were finally heard. Again, thank you to the community. Together, we make waves. Please hit the like if you haven't. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And sit back with me as we go back over the last almost 2 months. And we hear these stories and pleas and questions. We did it. And I just want to say thank you all so much, because without you, without your support, without your effort, without your desire, this wouldn't have been able to take place. Thank you all so much. All right, let me share this first with you. Now, I'm going to revisit something we brought up last night because it's important about something else that I'm going to show you here in a second. Okay, brought up this. And where it says Last seen February 26, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee, wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. I know there's other people saying, hello, this doesn't say anything. Well, you need to look a little deeper, okay? Because if he was, when was he last seen, y'all? I didn't know. When was he last? It doesn't say missing, right? Well, look, I mean, if it happened after he went to bed, well, then he would obviously be missing on the 20th. It doesn't say that, does it? It says last seen, doesn't it? Right? So again, we have to ask the question, last seen. Well, I thought he was last seen way before midnight on February 25th, 2024, and wasn't seen in the area. Not that he wasn't, remember, he was last seen in his house walking to his room. Was last seen walking to his room inside of his house wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses, no shoes. So it would say that, right? It would say, what's up, Michael? Thank you. It would say Sebastian was last seen on February 25th, 2024 in his house in Hendersonville, Tennessee, wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. That's what it would have said. It doesn't say that. It says Sebastian was last seen on February 26th. That means 12 midnight or after. Was last seen February 26th in the area of Stafford Court. Why would you say in the area when he was last seen in his house? Not in the area of Stafford Court, in his house. So then Mr. Nick Barris had a little something, and I want to share this with you guys. So Nick Barris had posted something on February 26th, okay? Nick Barris posted on February 26th. Here, let me put my face. Let me put my face over here. All right. Nick Barris had posted on February 26th. Sebastian was last seen earlier today in the area of Stafford Court. Who? Who? So now it makes sense. Because when we showed you the screenshot also, let me go to that, of this right here. This was from TBI, right? Showed this last night. This was from TBI. Can you tell me if he was last seen February 25th, 26th? And then we see it right here. Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 26th. Okay, wait a minute. So when I go back to this, and it says was last seen, where my confusion was at an overload last night. That's why I had to start the show off. I wasn't even going to start the show off with that. My confusion was at an overload. I'm like, what? Oh, help me out, y'all. Because this whole time, I thought he was last seen at home. So then when we switch back over to this, Oh, okay. 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 Now I understand. Now I understand why it's the 26th. February 26th, right there. February 26th. Sebastian was last seen earlier today in the area of Stafford Court. Right. Just the area. Just like what this says. Just like what this says. Sebastian was last seen in the area. Now it makes sense. So who saw him? Because that was February 26th that Nick Barris put up there. This whole time, I know Katie was the last person to see him. We've all been told that Katie was the last person to see him. So really, who was the last person to see Sebastian? Because it wasn't Katie. Because if it was Katie, she didn't last see him in the area of Stafford Court. That wasn't Katie. Katie last saw him walk into his room. So when we were going through this last night, and I'm sitting there going, okay, maybe somebody had to have seen him. Kind of like what I was bringing up. Somebody wasn't able to catch it on footage, but somebody did look out their window. Somebody wasn't able to capture footage, but was able to look out the window. Who saw Sebastian? Why has this person not been known this whole time? Why are they being kept a secret? Why is the witness account of Sebastian being kept a secret? And then I want to say this when it comes to Seth's proof of life video, and I don't think anybody's asking this question. That's not proof of life. Because wouldn't proof of life be the witness that saw Sebastian in the area of Stafford Court? Wouldn't that be the proof of life? Not the Texas Roadhouse. Not the Texas Roadhouse. Proof of life. There would be more video. You can't tell me that if somebody saw something, you can't tell. Listen, even if it was somebody that said, yeah, I saw a figure dressed in these clothes that looked or could have possibly been this person walking in this direction, well, then how come we haven't known a direction to go to this whole time? Why are these things being kept a secret? Somebody saw something, somebody knows something, and this person, remember, no foul play. No foul play. If there's no foul play, why is this person being kept a secret? None of it makes sense. The reason it's a secret, the last account of Sebastian, the direction he went, the possible description of what this witness statement could mean when it comes to so many other things going on with not only what people, but what the family can do to help as well. You are excluding so much and it doesn't make sense. Who was the last person to see Sebastian Rogers? Because it wasn't Katie. It wasn't Katie. Because if it was Katie, this would say Sebastian was last seen on February 25th, 2024, inside his residence on Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee, wearing a black sweater, black sweatpants, and glasses. That's what it would have said. Who was the last person to see Sebastian? If you don't want to say who, at least give us a direction. At least give the family something. Even if it was a car. But that would require foul play, would it not? Would a car not require it to? I mean, if a car is involved, it's foul play. If he is with anybody else, it's foul play. The only way it's not foul play is if he was witnessed by himself. That's it. If he is witnessed by himself, it's not foul play. You hear not foul play from law enforcement. If there's not foul play, why is this witness being kept a secret? Why is their witness account being kept a secret? Because it should say that Sebastian was last seen February 26, 2024, around the time of such and such on Stafford Court by this area in this direction in Hendersonville, wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses, is what it should say. This right here, why is there secrets? Why have this whole time we have thought that Katie was the last person to see Sebastian? For the last 10 months, we have thought Katie was the last person to see Sebastian. And as we go through stuff that was posted from the very beginning, after seeing some other messages of posts from a couple days ago, doubling down on the date, because look, you can make mistakes in the beginning on February 26th, but when it's December 26th and somebody sends TBI a message asking them what day he was reported missing, and their response after they come back to him was February 26th, 2024. Why? Why this whole time have we been thinking that Katie was the last person to see Sebastian alive when it's been a lie? Because somebody else saw Sebastian alive on February 26, 2024, between the hours of midnight and 6:15, 6:20, 6:30. In between that area, because I'll give you a time since they don't want to. in the area of Stafford Court, wearing what his mother said he was wearing when he went to bed the night before, when she last witnessed seeing him. Hell, we're still questioning the 25th and the 26th because of last seen.
Yeah, when?
The two key words, last seen. There was a new video that was put out from WKRN. There was a new Nick Barris article. There's also the Sumner County Commissioner, and he also had some posts as well. And I want to share those with you too, because there's a version from before and there's a version that was just put out now. And it has to do with the 25th and the 26th. And this is what everybody needs to really pay attention to. It's the two key words, last seen. Because I haven't heard anybody else other than Katie being reported as the last person that's seen Sebastian alive. Just because it says in the area of Stafford Court, doesn't mean that that's a way to protect the residents, because I didn't even say their address when I've been saying this stuff about the 26th. What I've been saying is last seen in his residence the night of the 25th. Because that's what we've been told this whole time.
Yeah, there's nothing that has been said otherwise. Like, not factual.
Last seen. Not Amber Alert was reported, not the address, when it was reported, called in, blah, blah, blah. But when she woke up, it doesn't, whatever, it doesn't matter. What matters, because that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is last seen. I want to know who last seen Sebastian, if it was on the 26th.
It's their verbiage. So, I mean, it was just an honest question.
Here's another honest question. If it doesn't involve foul play, why is the last person that seen Sebastian not being notated on that information?
Yeah, a lot of...
because you see how it misses... It doesn't say last seen by his mother. It doesn't even say that, does it?
No, and a lot of the missing persons reports I've looked into, it'll say, like, you know, the last seen by their niece or last seen by the son. It won't like typically give the name, but it'll say like who it was,
who, the time.
Yep.
If it's not inside of a residence, the location, the description of where they were seen. You know what I mean? Like, where's that at?
Yeah, it's not there.
It like doesn't even say his mother.
Even the ones that, you know, Bill was seen having coffee, and then it's believed that he made it back to his house or something like that. And it'll say that a missing person report was filed 2 weeks later whenever his son tried to make contact with him, yada, yada. It'll have like little details like that. But with this, it's just the opposite of that. And it makes you question everything.
What's really different from day one?
Yeah. No, I mean, you would think that they would be able to release certain information.
Why? If there's no foul play, that's the other key thing. If there's if there's foul play, somebody abducted him, we understand. We know law enforcement needs to keep a lot of, especially with that kind of stuff, they need to keep that close.
There's the thing, though. There's been cases I worked on before where it says foul play is suspected. Like, they're open about it. They don't know who did it, or if they do, it just says foul play is suspected.
It's day one information. You may come out every couple months and say, it's not a cold case.
Right.
But what is different from that first day? And again, no foul play. What's the reason that somebody wouldn't be able to be listed, or who saw him? Where'd they see him? What direction? There's no reason for the secrecy.
No, it shouldn't. There shouldn't be too many
If there's
people.
foul play,
Yeah, there is.
totally get it.
Yeah,
Totally get it. No foul play, and that's what's been stated.
but at that point,
Okay,
though, I'm just
so
saying.
why so secret? What are you trying to like? What are you trying to keep? The person that took him called in and said, "I last saw him." Like what?
Right.
What are you trying to hide? Because she already stated she put him to bed before, and then she went to bed somewhere around midnight. If that's when he was last seen, then why isn't it said he was last seen in his residence by his mother?
It should. If that's when he was last seen, it should. Look into other cases. It very well should. If she's the last person to tuck him in, yada yada, that's what she's seen him. That's what it should say.
In
But
the area is what it does say. So who saw him? So then why would they need to be kept secret?
or they're just trying to protect their witness. So if they're afraid that,
But
depending on what they see,
wouldn't that witness be able to tell them what took place or what direction or where at in the area of Stafford Court he was at, where he came from, possibly the direction that he left? Why would you not put out the direction? What was taking place from this witness account? Where he came from, possibly if they knew what happened, maybe if they knew the direction that they went or he went, or some. If somebody saw Sebastian in the area of Stafford Court, regardless of their name or their location,
right?
why wouldn't Ellie release what happened, the direction, last seen in the area of Stafford? Well, hey, he was going southeast,
They could at least put out the little details to
right?
get you in the right direction.
We don't have video evidence, but we do have an eyewitness account. And that was the last person to see him in the area of Stafford Court going in this direction, regardless of however that direction was being propelled. It would have, that would have went out. Who else besides Katie? And if it was, why isn't that information out there?
Yeah, I think people would lose their minds if that got out.
I would if I was a parent.
Well, I mean, at this point in time, because there's been so much secrecy.
Dude, if I knew somebody saw my child that went missing and they weren't trying to put out the direction or where at he was last seen or possibly what was going on, I'd be flipping. Speaking of the 25th and the 26th, all right, I want to bring this up and I want to show the message back on December 19th to TBI, all right? Clarify when Sebastian was last seen. Hi, can you please tell me if Sebastian Rogers was last, quote, seen on February 26th or last, quote, seen on February 25th? Many of us are trying to find out the true facts and not listen to gossip, so I wanted to get the information straight from you. Thank you so much. Now, they responded, this count isn't monitored 24/7. We'll get back to you soon. And then it says Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 26th. Now, I want to show something from the Sumner County Commissioner. Don Schmidt, Sumner County Commissioner.
See, I seen this one. I knew I seen a flyer. It said February 25th.
This description actually mentions family, right? Now look at this. See what it says right here, people?
10 p.m.
10 p.m. Right? 10 p.m.
His mother called out to him to keep it down, which he responded. So I mean, that gives you the time frame there.
It gives you a lot more, don't it?
Yeah.
The most that you've ever read.
So if that's factual, which it seems to be because it's coming from the commissioner, right?
Sumner County Commissioner.
Then you don't. Then he called out. So at 10 p.m. he was still in the house.
Yeah.
And that's going off of their information. Not speculation. We're not pulling this out of left field. This is right here.
This tells you the damn truth, bro, because this is what we've known all along. Sebastian was living with his mother and stepfather
Yeah,
when he disappeared, right?
exactly. 100%.
On the night of February 25th at 10 p.m., according to the mother, she reported hearing a thud from his room, at which point the mother called out to him to keep it down, not, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Like it went from concerning to just keep it down, and he actually responded.
What does that sound to you, bro? If you're or you're busy trying to study, keep it down.
Yeah, if I'm studying, it's like, hey,
That's a totally different concern, is it not, bro?
two different concerns. I'm more concerned about my studying. That's just for my opinion. Or if I was live right now, I'm just like, keep it down in there.
And that's a good question, K-Mac. Why would the TBI report 226? That's what I'm saying. That's why the two words "last seen" have been really on my mind for a week. I'm sitting there going,
So already you have two different agencies with two different public reports. What is fact and what is fiction?
Okay. So at which point the mother called out to him to keep it down, which he responded. The following morning, he was reported missing and an Amber Alert was issued. Are these all true events and everything that we've known this whole time? Yes. His cell phone, shoes, and belongings were still in the house. His case sparked widespread attention with numerous searches being conducted. To this day, his disappearance remains a mystery. Now we're going to go to the only person, because we even heard this from Seth on one of his lives when they had a press conference. Didn't you guys do a double take when you heard Seth go, they had the press conference in an area where they don't allow civilians, and you had to have an invite, and the only person that got in was Nick Barris.
When they said that, I was sitting there going, like,
not even a parent.
It's a missing kid.
Not even a parent. So you want to know what? It's basically the same thing as what law enforcement and Nick Barris have been putting out. Not with the commissioner, but what Nick Barris. This was on February 26th. Sebastian was last seen earlier today, February 26th. Sebastian, that's when the post was.
In the area.
Sebastian was last seen earlier today in the area of Stafford Court. This is what I feel what an officer was told.
That's what I'm thinking. It's more forthcoming.
When she was first interviewed. Look, this is what I want to show you guys, because the new one actually has a different date.
The new one does?
Yeah. So I'm going to show you that one. So this was posted December 20th. Now look at the date. December 20th. Last seen February 26th, the area Stafford Court near Beach High School. But look at that. February 26th was the date changed. But look at what else was added, bro.
Beach High School in Hendersonville. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
How? Okay, so Stafford Court is totally not that actual. I mean, it's close, but it ain't that close. So
Beach High School's on the other side of
the other neighborhood,
the pond,
and then you got the church, the cemetery, and then the school.
Yep,
that's a big. That's a big gap.
Yeah, it is, bro.
So are they implying that's the direction that he was going?
That's where he was spotted. That's why all of it as we're sitting here going, when was he last seen? The 25th or the 26th? Because we've been hearing this the whole time.
Yep.
We've been hearing this the whole time, right? Which is not the 26th. When this pops up, this gives you the reason. We weren't saying he wasn't last seen on the 26th to all the people that were having fits. What we're saying was where, who, what. And look, just like the other one where that dude's dropping you some gold nuggets, guess what this is right here?
Yeah, a nugget.
Beach High School. That's a
Oh.
huge nugget.
And he's still not on camera anywhere. That's what's mind-boggling.
I'm going to take you to the area.
You know the high school's got to have cameras that hit that road.
Well, let's see how far it is from Stafford Court, okay? We're going to do a distance check. We're going to see Stafford Court.
That's a gap, dude.
Beach High School.
And
okay,
that's a straight shot.
We'll be generous, okay? The very front tip of that Beach High School property, because maybe it was right here. Okay,
Yes,
maybe somebody's seen him right here, right? So let's be generous. 636 meters. It depends on what area you're talking about. So you're generalizing the statement. You see what I'm saying? Because
if you were sending an officer to that area for the first call, you wouldn't say Stafford Court in the area of Beach High School. You'd want to narrow that down a lot more. I don't know. That's just weird.
Let me flip it over here so you can have the zoomed in.
You would want like a cross street.
When it comes to December 20th, that was just 10 days ago. This is the Sumner County Commissioner stating Beach High School. This is why we were asking for a week. Okay, was he really last seen? Now, who saw him at Beach High School? Because let's go back, and we're going to go into this weekend. We're going to dig into the audio. We're going to go back to the audio and dig into it, the dispatch audio. Somebody on the dispatch audio said that they seen him, right?
I remember that.
Did this come from LE? Was the witness of us, the witness statement on the dispatch audio, was this officer looking near Beach High School, and was he the one that led to the Beach High School being included about this flyer? Did they say cemetery? Did they say Beach Cumberland Presbyterian Church?
No.
Did they say the construction pond? Did they say the construction area? No, they didn't. But really, you could say, oh, it's in the area. It's in the area of Stafford Court, being 20, and it's what I'm saying. Like, Beach High School is a different area than the area of Stafford Court, because there's a church, there's a cemetery, there's a housing development.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of area to cover.
There's another row of houses before that street. Now, if I'm saying the area, I'm saying the area of Stafford Court as it's this area.
It's its own area, in my opinion.
Right? Not all the way over here near Beach High School. Now, there was a lot of searches, and I'll go ahead and kind of zoom back and show you guys. There was a lot of the searches going on during the dispatch audio that were all taking place around this area, okay? So inside this area where all these searches were taking place, and I'm just going to focus on this section of it when it comes to what we're talking about. When it comes to the witness Beach High School. This is why I think the dispatch audio is what's being used, because when you're listening to the dispatch audio, this right here, this area right here is what you're really hearing for the dispatch audio. And you can see something by Beach High School from that construction area, because remember what we were talking about before. When it comes to the elevation of that construction area back when Sebastian went missing, it's completely different now. The elevation back then was way higher, and you had a higher elevation of view when it came to Beach High School in the cemetery, because the elevation goes from left to right, going down. As you're going to the right, elevation is going down. Everything you see on the left is a lot higher than what you see on the right. Huge difference. Huge difference. And so that's where I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's why they haven't, even though there's not foul play, even though there's no direction, even though there's, it's kind of interesting, this has been removed from all other information. Beach High School. Was this the last seen on February 26th because they used a witness description from law enforcement that you hear on dispatch? And if so, why is that? Because why would you want to mislead the public if what one of your officers didn't see, in fact, what he thought he saw in real time? Because people are human. Why would that date and that area and that narrative be continued? Did it not go back to 10 o'clock, February 25th? Why would only Nick Barris be able to have access? Why is Nick Barris saying the same thing that law enforcement is, but the Sumner County Commissioner is giving you nuggets and anything that he puts out there? Why is his voice not being heard?
Yeah, it didn't add up.
He's existing. It's just not getting that much attention, especially what was posted 10 days ago. The Beach High School. So again, if there's no foul play and it was a mistake from the officer, you heard the dogs getting hits on the dispatch audio, and then you heard, and we'll hear Ken Widener sit there and tell you again today, because he got interviewed again today from Nick Barris, and he will tell you again today that there were no dog trails for Sebastian. You heard the dog trails and the hits on the dispatch audio. He's corrected that information since March 26th. You've heard the witness on dispatch audio see him, but why has that information only been half brought back? Because only half of it was brought back. You brought back Beach High School, and you brought back the time.
If he was truly seen there, it's impossible for there not to be a freaking tracker trail.
You brought it back to Stafford instead of Beach, church, construction area. You got rid of half of the truth. You got rid of Beach. You got rid of the church area. You got rid of back to Stafford. You even got rid of the construction area where all the hits were saying. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to dispatch audio, you heard this, they went back. Human. You heard this. We're only going to go back a little bit. Why is that? Why would you not want to sit there and say, okay, well, that last scene really wasn't last seen like the dog hit, really wasn't the dog hit. We want to make sure we have the facts out there. So we're going to go back to the last scene, and that would be 10 p.m. on the 25th. And why is that not taking place? I don't know. It's real confusing, man.
It is confusing as hell. Even to have been there, worked it, see how others have worked it. Between the dispatch audio, it's like, okay, the dog's tracked, and then no, there was no tracks. But wait a minute, he was seen in this area of Beach High School and Stafford Court. But again, note the dogs didn't track. It's like, you mean to tell me you can see somebody walking down the road? Yeah, inquiring minds want to know, law enforcement. Clear it up, because the misinformation, y'all are, in my opinion, y'all are confusing the hell out of me. And this is just going off information that you have released. Not hearing third party. This is all factual stuff that y'all have put out, and it's confusing the hell out of everybody. And then you say, talk about credible sources. So it's like, well, people are trying to figure out. They're taking information you've put out, trying to make sense of it. And then y'all are getting mad about credible sources. Like, we're not stating facts or anything like that. We're just asking questions that a million people, the entire nation, the world is wanting to know.
If it was your kid,
exactly, and it matters because we can't find Sebastian, so it does matter. Like, we all want the same outcome, and that is for Sebastian to be brought home or found. And I hate to say it like that, but this far into it, this amount of misinformation coming from law enforcement. Here's your misinformation. It's like, what is factual whenever you're
it's smoke. It's the fog. It's the fog between you and the truth, bro. It's that fog. We're going to back up a little bit.
Yeah, and then this day and age, it's hard to backpedal. So you need to come out and be open about what you can. They need
a new statement. They need a new statement.
Yeah, the information that they've put out, they need to compile and say, look, this is what has been corrected.
They need more than that. They need to include this.
Yep.
They need to include Beach High School. They need to include the time that he was last seen. Don't give me last seen early hours. No. If somebody's seen him, give us a time.
Yeah, you would have.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that they themselves need to speak up about, because look, this sitting back here, you know, and taking 2 minutes to sit down and basically regurgitate the same stuff. Listen, you got so many you want to talk about inconsistencies. Look at the inconsistencies here. We're sitting here asking about these inconsistencies on these interviews, and we're asking about these inconsistencies when it comes to the people in positions of power and what they're doing. And how they're helping. And right here, it's like I said, this is like off of a report from one of the first officers that talked to her. Straight up, right off a report. And they're expecting people to buy this, because you got people out there going, there's no difference. This is why it's the 26th. And it's no, you need to look at the fine print. Don't just sign up for the credit card before you read the fine print. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, after I see Beach High School, I see what he wrote there, and then you take that with everything that we've been going through the last week. Now you start to see they're just not being forthcoming when it comes to their statements on last scene. All right. So I wanted to bring that up because, you know, with this 25th, 26th, I'm still going to ask, like, who and when and what time, you know, what time, where, who, what. Even if you don't want to mention who, at least, okay, if you've seen him, at least, because listen, if you've seen him walking away, if this witness statement, right, on the 26th is 100, and it's not Katie, and it's him and just him.
Yeah.
If this witness statement saw him that morning by himself, no foul play.
Dude, that would clear up so many things.
Bloodhounds and cadaver dogs were used, but contrary to some reports,
none of them, my understanding, were actually on a trail that was following Sebastian.
search efforts then continued for months. There was simply no trace of the teen found, no scent trail, no security video, nothing. It was as though Sebastian simply vanished. Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Why so secret, man? All of it. No, him being secret has done nothing to advance the case. That's what it is.
Once he says rumor mill, and then you wonder why there's a rumor mill, because y'all have put out multiple different statements. I don't want to say facts, but multiple different
or different people in the whole collective group of the investigation and what's going on. Yeah. And everything I'm going to break down and show you guys. We should have had a direction. Because I'm going to tell you right now. If I was a parent and there's a statement that somebody saw my child after I last saw my child, and there wasn't even a direction included in, because if there's no foul play, then why is there no direction? If there's no foul play, why is the person that last saw him on the 26th such a secret? If there's no foul play. If there's no foul play, there should be no secrets. Now, if there's foul play, totally understand, because, hey, you got to keep it close to the vest. We get it. But why is certain things being kept close to the vest when we're told the flashlight video has no evidentiary value? Hello? The flashlight video from Craddock himself says has no value. No foul play. Why so secret? You should be able to say who saw Sebastian, where you saw Sebastian, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's 3 different locations that they've stated. 3 different locations. Which is it? Which is it? Who's telling the truth? Who's not telling the truth? And in that community post, I shared it for everybody. You can literally copy, paste it, and send it out yourself. We need answers. We need to know what the truth is. We need a new statement. Because there's a lot of inconsistencies. Does Sebastian not deserve a new statement based off all these inconsistencies? Get the F out of here if you think he don't. Just like his family, just like his loved ones, his community, everybody. Because it could be your child too. And if your child goes missing, and this is the kind of foolery that takes place, why are you not speaking up like some others are? We're going to get into it, trust me. Now, this is the letter that I came up with. You're more than welcome to copy and paste. More than welcome to copy and paste and send it out as well. 4 different questions. Which of these statements is not true for each? Now, I'm going to read you the community post. I'm going to show you after the community post. I'm going to show you each of these statements that was made that made me write this letter. I encourage anybody else copy and paste and send it out as well because these questions need answered. These statements need updated. They we everybody deserves to know, not just the families. Which is true, which is not true. I wrote, we can handle the truth. We need a new updated statement from law enforcement. Here's my letter to them. Copy, paste, and send to if you desire. To all law enforcement agencies involved in the missing persons case for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Please let the public know which of these statements are true, not true, don't exist anymore, or cannot be commented further on, and why, if able. These are all statements from law enforcement that's involved and Nick Barris mixed together to ask for the ultimate truth for information. Question 1. This pertains to the paragraph or the statements that were made. The morning of February 26th, Sebastian was reported missing and an Amber Alert was issued. His cell phone, shoes, and belongings were still in the house. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. Sebastian is a 15-year-old white male, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, with brown hair. Some others have stated dirty blonde in their description. Like I said, we're going to go through all of those sources. And brown eyes. Sebastian is autistic and may not be able to return safely without assistance, and that is very important. Not being able to return safely without assistance with a disability, it's very important to put out a uniform description. So I have to ask law enforcement, dirty blonde hair or brown hair? Now, that's just a very minimal question. Just wait. Question 2. Sebastian was last living with his mother and stepfather when he disappeared. On the night of February 25th at 10 p.m., the mother reported hearing a thud from his room, at which point the mother called out to him to keep it down. We've also heard, "Are you okay?" Which she claims she responded, or which she claims he responded. Number 1, mother was last person to see him at 10 p.m. February 25th. Is that true or not? Number 2, thud or no thud? Number 3, in response to the thud, was it keep it down? Or in response to the thud, was it are you okay? Question 3. Sebastian was last seen earlier today, quote, February 26th. Was that, and these are all statements that they've made, was it in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee? Number 2, Beach Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike. Number 3, Beach High School in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Or last seen from his mother on February 25th. Which is it? Which is true and which is not? Multiple statements on a location. Question 4, and this is the most important as well, turned out to be false on search dispatch audio from February 26th. Was the number 1, was the K9 scent trails and hits for Sebastian the morning of February 26th on the dispatch audio and beyond, was that turned out to be false? Number 2, the witness seeing Sebastian outside of his residence on the morning of February 26th on the search dispatch audio and beyond. Did that turn out to be false as well? Now, law enforcement came out on March 26th and told everybody, Ken Widener said, with Nick Barris, there were no scent trails or hits for Sebastian Rogers. So when it comes to that statement, right, because we heard in the dispatch audio, we see something. Oh, there's a dog hit. There's a trail. But when it came out later on, they came out and said, well, in fact, no, that was not correct. So when it comes to this sighting of Sebastian Rogers, wherever it may be, area Stafford Court, Beach, Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike, Beach High School in Hendersonville, or last seen at his residence on February 25th, the witness that saw wherever they saw Sebastian, according to last seen, if there's no foul play, why are they a secret? If there's no foul play, why did you not say that he was witnessed in this specific area, not a whole bunch of different areas, and also give the family and any kind of search efforts a direction? Why would that be kept secret? What's the reason? What do you guys think all of that would be kept secret if there's no foul play? Why would the direction? Why would a specific location, not just multiple? Why would the witness statement be in the area of Stafford Court, Beach Shackle, Long Hollow Pike, Beach High School, Mother's House? Why would there be all those different statements? Those are my questions, and there's the community post. If you want to have the link, here it is again. If you want to copy, paste, and send it out yourself. Because to me, like I wrote right here, law enforcement, please make a new updated statement that reflects not only all the discoveries, but also the recanting all the way up to January 4th, today, 2025. It is of the utmost importance for Sebastian, the community, the family, and the world for everyone to have the most truthful and updated information regarding Sebastian's missing persons case, anyone's missing persons case, and anyone who might have one in the future, to ultimately find him and them in a timely fashion with the absolute clarity that Sebastian and any of these victims or potential victims and their loved ones deserve. Law enforcement needs to come out with a unified, updated statement when it comes to these 4 questions. Which of these is true? And which of these are not? Especially these right here. Because if you used, and this is what I feel, you guys, and this is why I'm bringing it up. Because if you used the dispatch audio as your quote sighting in the area of any of these locations that you're discussing, that somebody last seen him, because that's what it says, last seen. If those events that took place along with the dog hits and the dog scent trails and part of the witness of Sebastian the next day was part of that, then should that not be taken back as well when it comes to the statement of Sebastian Rogers when he was last seen? What I'm breaking down is that the dispatch audio and the events that took place with the dog hits, with the dog scent trails, with people saying they spotted somebody, something, if that is what is being used and has not been taken back, it's why I made the video a few days ago. They're giving you half truth. They took it back. They took back some of the statements, right? They're not saying, except for the most recent, they're not saying these other locations. They've taken stuff back. What they're not telling you, no foul play, no direction. Why so secret? Why is the direction so secret? Why is the location all over the place? Why are we just saying last seen in this area? Because if he wasn't, which I'm seeing who else seen him? Who else seen him? Because Katie was the last one to see him. 9 to 10 p.m. on the 25th. Didn't go check on him in his room after the thud. So we know it was way before the 26th. If she wasn't the last person to see him, why is this person being kept so secret? And the only thing that I can come up with is maybe because they're using the events that took place along with the dog hits and the dog scents to act like there's some validity to it, to create some kind of smoke away from a certain direction, right? Because if you can't come out with a uniform statement, if you can't come out with a statement that doesn't have inconsistencies from different people that are part of this search investigation for Sebastian, why so secret? There should be no reason whatsoever. Listen, we don't need to know the name. We don't need to know the name of whoever or how many people, because there's different locations. We don't need to know the who. But I think the family, the community, and especially Sebastian deserved the information of the direction. Just the direction. If he really was last seen. And you know what? If he wasn't last seen by no foul play protected witness, then why is it not back to Sebastian was last seen between the hours of 9 and 10 p.m. on February 25th from his mother before he went to bed wearing a black sweatshirt, black pants with white stripes, and glasses. Because that's what the new updated statement should be. Let me know if you know any other reasons why somebody would be kept secret, the direction would be kept secret, the location would be multiple places. Why? Why? When it comes to a missing child, that may not be able to return safely without assistance? You are doing a disservice to Sebastian. You're doing a disservice to his family. You're doing a disservice to the community. You're doing a disservice to people in general. Because if it was your family member, the people that are putting these out, don't you think you would feel the same way? What other reason is there than smoke, people? What other reason is there than smoke? They need to come out with a new, updated statement based off of all of those questions. What's true? What's not true? Put it in one nice little paragraph and send it out. Because this is some BS and I'm going to show it to you. And this is where it starts off. I'm going to be giving you different dates as we go through these different statements. December 19th at 12:09 p.m. I'm going through it all. I wrote the community post. I broke it down. These are their words, people, not mine. These are theirs. Which is true, which is not true, why inconsistencies in all of these. Hi, can you please tell me if Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 26th or last seen on February 25th? Many of us are trying to find out the true facts and not listen to gossip, so I wanted to get the information straight from you. Thank you so very much. Thanks for messaging us. We try to be as responsive as possible. But this account isn't monitored 24/7. We'll get back to you soon. 12:50. Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 26th. Okay. This was December 20th. This was posted from Don Schmidt, Sumner County Commissioner. Okay. Sumner County Commissioner, December 20th. Where's Sebastian Rogers? Last seen February 26, 2024 on Stafford Court near Beach High School in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It says a lot, doesn't it? Keep in mind, different locations. I broke it all down in the community post. Nick Barris, February 26th. Sebastian was last seen earlier today in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville. This one right here. This was February 26th. Don Schmidt, Sumner County Commissioner. He listed on February 26th that he was last seen on February 25th. He also stated that Sebastian was living with his mother and stepfather when he disappeared on the night of February 25th at 10 p.m. The mother reported hearing a thud from his room, at which point the mother called out to him to keep it down, which he responded. The following morning, he was reported missing and an Amber Alert was issued. His cell phone, shoes, and belongings were still in the house. His case sparked widespread attention, with numerous searches being conducted to this day. His disappearance remains a mystery. Appreciate you all for being here, and thank you so much for the likes. This one right here, February 26th, 2024. Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Now, this one states right here that he is missing from the beach area in high school area in Hendersonville. But more importantly, look what it says right here. Sebastian was last seen 2:25 also says may be in the area of Beach Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike. Different dates, different locations, inconsistencies. This one right here, TBI, March 7th. Was last seen on February 26, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is why I made the community posts that I made. That's why I said I broke it down. You guys can literally just copy, paste, and send TBI. What's not true? What's true? We need a new statement. We need a new statement. Because when you're looking at all of these inconsistencies in all of these statements, what is it? Sebastian was last seen earlier today, February 26th, number 1, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Number 2, Beach Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike. Number 3, Beach High School in Hendersonville. Or number 4, last seen from his mother on February 25th. Which is true and which is not true? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to break it down. I'm not asking you to give a whole bunch of reasons. I'm just simply asking what is true and what is not true based off of the statements that have been put out there from each different agency, each different part of the investigation, and the one person that has access when it comes to Mr. Barris. He's got access and he's putting out information as well. So when it comes to Nick Barris's part is very minimal in this too. It's just a little teeny statement. He was last seen in the area of Stafford Court the morning of February 26th. Now, there's other statements from law enforcement that state 26th, state 25th. There's other people in law enforcement not only state in the area of Stafford Court, but also state Beach Shackle Island, Long Hollow Pike, Beach High School. Last seen at his mother's. And if you're using the witness statements from the day that the scent trails and the dog hits took place, because there's no other reason to keep the direction and where specifically out of all of those locations, there's no reason to keep it secret. You said the flashlight video has no evidentiary value. You said there's no foul play. You said you don't know what happened. You said you don't know what direction, but why are we putting information out there? Just like the dog hits and the dog trails, we took that back. Why, if it was part of what took place that day, and in fact it was not a sighting of Sebastian, why does it not go back to Katie between the hours of 9 and 10 p.m., February 25th? Now, why would they keep it secret? Sebastian deserves it. Any of these other missing children out there deserve it. Any of these potential victims that prayers that don't happen. Sebastian could be your family member, okay? And if this is how it's being reported and stated, you're doing a disservice for Sebastian. That's why I said law enforcement needs to come out with a new updated statement that reflects all of the discoveries or recants, because we're human. We understand. But what we don't understand is why is something being put out there that has no evidentiary value to the investigation, because according to you, there is none. And if you're trying to keep a witness secret, again, why would you keep the direction? Why would you? Is there something wrong with Stafford Court? Is there something wrong with Beach Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike? Is there something wrong with Beach High School? Why is this location all over the place? Or why is the location secret? Sebastian deserves better. Other victims that might be going through this same kind of inconsistencies and all these different statements, just in my opinion, because in my opinion, until I know the answers to these questions, in my opinion, the reason that there's different dates, the reason that there's different locations is because it's trying to create confusion. And when you're trying to create confusion, what are you trying to do? You're trying to create the fog between somebody else and the truth. And if you're trying to create the fog between somebody else and the truth, what does that tell you? Exactly, Ginger. Because they created this fog. I just broke it all down. There's so much to talk about. Still no response. I don't know. Anybody out here in the community, if you've sent a letter, have you gotten a response yet? I still haven't. But like I said, if I get a response, if I'm not live, I'll do a little short video or a community post or something. So you'll know as soon as I get a response. Unfortunately, I don't have one yet. It's been quite a while. It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Especially when we watch the videos and they say themselves. It's about getting the information to the public, so hopefully these missing loved ones can get found quicker, right? What's wrong with the time and location? I'm not saying the lights don't matter. I'm not saying none of this matters, right? The green hoodie. I'm not saying it don't matter. What I'm saying is the topics tonight, tomorrow, yesterday, the day before, the biggest question we have, and we're just asking for, is the time and location of the sighting on February 26th, if it really exists or don't. Because it's a completely different scenario if he was seen. Okay, time and location, foul play or not, it doesn't matter. That gets put out to the public. Why it hasn't put out to the public this whole time, we don't know. You know, the reason we've been discussing it for a month is because my inner team can sit there and tell you, the angels can tell you, I've constantly, when it comes to every 25th of every month, I've said, all right, it's been this many months now because of the 25th, right? Because last seen from his mom when he was going to his bedroom between 9 and 10. Between 9 and 10. That's the 25th. And when people, not just myself, when multiple people are reaching out to the people, you want to answer somebody just 50 minutes later from 12:09 to 12:50. It didn't take you that long for that. Why is it taking so long for a time and location? Because two totally different scenarios if it was last seen at 11:42 p.m. at Beach High School than it is of a scenario of last seen at mom's house between the hours of 9 and 10 p.m. on the 25th. Two totally different scenarios. The reason I sit there and say, if we get an answer to the real last scene, and that's why I'm saying real, because right now, it's been how long and nobody can answer that question to multiple people, time and location. This is a missing child's case, right? The time and location of a witness sighting is just as important as his name, his weight, his height, hair color, eye color, clothes last seen in. I'm passionate about this. So not saying that the other stuff that we're going to discuss is less, but what I'm saying is we need the answer first before we discuss flashlights, before we discuss green hoodie, before we do shows on all this other stuff. We need to talk about the last scene, because just to say in the area of Stafford Court, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for Sebastian either. And to sit there and think that we can just not respond to the general public, where this case also affects any other missing persons case in the world, not just the United States, but in the world. Because if you can't answer a simple question as to time and location of the witness sighting, well, what are we doing? Foul play or not? What are we doing? You answer that question first, then all the flashlights and the green hoodies and, the scanned images, satellite photos, all of the, the old interviews, all this other stuff. That stuff doesn't compare to last seen. Because we could talk about all that other stuff right now, and guess what? Because we're talking about it as if he was last seen on February 26th, right? But what happens if, in fact, that witness sighting is not true? Oh, gosh, now we got to go back again and re-go over this stuff, because now it takes on a different meaning. And what I'm trying to say is that takes time. Time that Sebastian doesn't have. Think of all the hours that we're focusing on all these other things. And they do mean a lot, right? I'm not saying they don't. But think of all the time that has been spent on all these other things when we should have been spending it on last scene. Because what happens if it doesn't exist? Then the last scene goes back to mom's house, and then all of a sudden we got to redo the same work we just did when we already are losing time to try and find Sebastian. The last thing we need is to have all this extra stuff piled on our plates just to try and find Sebastian, when all we had to do was put the pressure in the first place of the last scene. Let's do it for Sebastian. As I'm sitting here, and it's like, okay, the days are going by, the weeks are going by. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's still about this and that and this and that, when we're sitting here this whole time still waiting for an answer to a time and location. Sebastian doesn't have the extra time. This is why it's one of the only times, and it's probably the only time that I can think of, that literally when I cut down, I literally took the hour and 50-minute version, I cut it down to 30. Because I'm like, I don't know what else I can do. I got to explain why I came out with the community post, because there's some people that are just coming across the community post that didn't see going through all the statements, and they're like, no, this is not the facts. And it's like, duh, because these are all part of statements that LE made. Let me put out a 30-minute video. Let me condense it. So that way it's easier. Because this is important. This is the most important right now. And I don't even care if I get an answer. I've told you that when I first put out the community post and I did the show. I said, I don't care if I get the answer and I'm the one showing the answer on a video, right? I don't care. What I do care about is the fact that it gets answered. Because you can't tell me the time and location of the witness sighting on February 26th doesn't matter and shouldn't have been released to the public from the first time that it was noticed or witnessed, foul play or not. I'm sitting here talking about Coffindaffer days ago. Coffindaffer, would you please talk about the last scene? I've been in the chats. Would you please talk about the last scene? No, it's about flashlights. It's like, come on, Coffindaffer. What other investigation do you know of where if there is a witness sighting of somebody, even if it's another crime, if there's a witness sighting of somebody in a crime, perpetrator or victim, does the time and location not get put out? What other investigation have you been a part of where you can say that has happened? I mean, it's these things that I'm sitting here trying to reach out. We can talk about all this stuff. Guess what? The flashlights mean one thing when he was last seen on February 26th, but do the flashlights mean completely something else with a lot more validation? If we find out the witness statement is not true on the 26th, this is why it needs to be answered. I don't need it answered. They can answer number 450. They can answer number 4050. They can answer number 44,500. I don't care. And I hope they put it out there if they get a response, because I don't care who it is. What I do care about is Sebastian. What I do care about is Sebastian being able to have the last time and location of somebody that's seen him and where they seen him, so people know it's about finding Sebastian. Does the witness time and location help us get closer? No matter what the answer is, because either we know a certain time and a certain place he was at, and we can go, all right, here we go. Or if we find out the answer is not true, we also get closer to finding Sebastian, right? And even if there's foul play, and they're saying no foul play, even if there is foul play, it never hinders any investigation. This is why I was asking Jennifer Coffindaffer, what other investigation do you know of where this has taken place? Any foul play investigation will include a time and a location of a witness sighting, and it doesn't ever hinder any investigation 100%. In fact, it does nothing but help an investigation 150%. That's why I keep encouraging. That's why I'm going to continue and talk about it every intro of every show until we get an answer, until somebody gets an answer, because Sebastian deserves the answer. It wasn't even a topic until a month ago from us, because the whole time, like I was saying earlier, I was sitting there every 25th, I would tell my team, here's the next month, prayers and all this stuff, the 25th of December. And I'm like, Oh, this is tough. It's Christmas. It's 10 months now. It's 10 months. Oh, this has got to be a horrible Christmas, you know. Hopefully today's the day that they find him, you know. And then the next day I'm seeing all these 10-month videos and I'm going, "What? What is this 10-month the 10 months was on Christmas. What are all these 10-month videos people are doing?" So then I really start looking at this. I'm like, okay, but it just says in the area. I start looking at me and the team, we're gathering all the different statements and all this other stuff, and we're looking into it, and I'm like, no, you guys, no. We need to start talking about that. Been talking about it ever since, and I'm not going to stop because there's no reason whatsoever there shouldn't be an answer to a time and location if the witness sighting was real. Now, I told you guys before, a couple shows ago, where I did the dispatch audio. You can see it in the live section in the title where I go through the dispatch audio. I show you guys them naming the locations that are by all these different statements. And if you're using the dispatch audio events that took place as your sighting for Sebastian Rogers in the morning hours, then why haven't you been able to give a time and location? Because you say it yourself. It's about making sure the public gets the information. So hopefully, especially time, location, clothing, when it comes to try and find these missing loved ones, hopefully quicker. It's your own words. Just like the community post, just like all the statements, everything that I'm discussing, it's your own words. I'm just asking a simple question. I even did the work for you with the community post. I broke it all down for you. I'm just asking what's true and what's not true. Because even if you don't want to come out with a new statement, at least we know what's true and not true when it comes to the community posts that I put out there for you. Now, it might be a little bit too much. Some people have just sent, can you please share the time and location of the witness sighting on February 26th? And they don't even get answers as well. Again, anybody that is in chat right now, or if you're watching on replay and you've sent a letter out to any of the agencies involved, have any of you gotten a response from any of them regarding the time and location of the witness sighting on February 26th? Let me know. I'll take a couple sips of coffee. Yeah, that's what I thought. And why is that? It's the first time I ever tagged a whole bunch of people in my video on YouTube. It's the first time I tagged a whole, News Nation, Court TV, Coffin Daffer, Dog, Deception Detective, right? Deception Detective going through the video. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, people, this is what here's the letter, right? Here's the letter. Here's all the different statements, the dates, the who sent, who stated it, who posted it. You want to talk about deception, right? The fact that none of us have gotten a response. Maybe he could send out the letter too. Hello, it's deception already. I can't help how passionate I am about this because, like I said, I sit there and I think about the family that's in the middle of nowhere somewhere where they're missing their loved one and they get the same generalized in the area on the next day, even though the night before could be suspicious, and they don't have the movement in the community that Sebastian has. and they're having to sit at their house, continue to miss their loved one, and accept this in the area. This is more than just Sebastian. This is the world. This is for anybody that ends up missing somebody they love. And they're in the middle of nowhere. It has no attention. And they're sitting there going, I wish we didn't have to accept this generalized in the area, but it's all we got. No, it's not. No, it's not, family in the middle of nowhere. That's why it means so much right now. I haven't had access to that Caltopo for a long time. And that's nice. They have an exact location. But how about Ellie comes out and states the time and the location? Because this is all we can go off of. Does that say in his yard? It says in the area of Stafford Court. What's wrong with the time and location? If there is, listen. If there was, then how come nobody? Why has nobody gotten a response? Why has nobody gotten one response for over 2 weeks? So hopefully tonight, tomorrow, the next day, who knows, there will be, it was at this time, at this spot. Because just like in the community post, when different people state 3 different locations, and then you add moms in there, so that's 4. When you got 4 different statements, well, which is it? Because to me, if I'm looking at all the different statements, I'm going, wait a minute, it's more than one sighting, it's multiple sightings. He went here and then here and then here. Because that's how I read it when I'm looking at the different locations. None of them say a time, just in the early morning hours is one. That's it. What's wrong with putting out a time and location? If you already have it, right? If you already have it, it should be very easy. December 19th. Hey, TBI, was it 25th or 26th? 40 minutes later, it was the 26th. All right. But it's been over 2 weeks now, and nothing? That sounds kind of odd, right? Again, Jennifer Coffin-Dafford. Have you heard of this in any of the investigations you've been a part of? Hey, dog, when you were chasing somebody, isn't the time and location a very key detail, just as in clothing, right? Have you ever seen this in any investigation that you've done? I doubt it. Just like I doubt it for Coffin-Dafford. That's why it's so important. 25th or 26th, just be honest. What if it was your child? We can't tell you what time and location. Please, talk about it. Bring it up. Discuss it. Share it. I condensed it into a 30-minute video in my video section. It goes through the community post, and I even put it in the timestamps, and you can hover above it and you can see what part I cover here and what part I cover here. And I go over through all the posts and all the statements and who said what and when they said what. So then you can go back to the community post and go, damn, he broke it down. He even did their work for him. And he's just asking which one is true and which one isn't. Because you'll see the statements of what they stated, and then you'll see multiple choice. What's true, what's not true. Last scene. That's the question that needs answered first. Before we talk about flashlights, before we talk about satellite photos, before we talk about old interviews, before we talk about all these other things, because all of these other things that we are talking about tonight can literally be a completely different conversation if we find out that that witness statement is not real. It becomes a completely different conversation. You got to do it all over again. Sebastian don't have that time. I could care less if I get it. It's about Sebastian. Maybe you can get the answer. Maybe you can be the lucky one to have somebody respond and say, you know what? Here's the time and here's the location of where he was seen. Maybe you. And if it is, thank you. Because that's the only thing that matters. I wanted to discuss something real quick. Last night I was going through Facebook and I came across an interesting post, and I'll explain the reason why I have this up here. Now, ever since this came out, there's been a lot of people asking me, is this real? Is this real? And I continue to tell people until I see a timestamp, until I see a date, until I see an email to, and until I see an email from, which should all be public knowledge. Until I see those, anyone would have to assume that it's not real. Now, myself and the community have been discussing this since December 26th. We sent out messages to all law enforcement agencies. We encourage the community to also send a letter or a message to all law enforcement agencies. Now, out of our whole community, not one of us have gotten a response other than the automatic reply that you normally get as soon as you send a message. Our community has been discussing this since December 26th. I'll have all these linked below in the description, and you can hear where the conversation started from. We've done multiple videos since, just like this one, continued to bring up the topic. In every live, we continued to bring up the topic because this has still been the biggest question to me this whole time. Now, what I did a few weeks ago is I broke down all the statements and I broke it down into a 31-minute version showing you all the different statements, all the different locations, going through the community post, going through all the questions. So as I'm scrolling through Facebook last night, I come across this post right here. This was posted from Don Schmidt, Sumner County Commissioner, District 18. It still shows missing since 2/26, contact Detective Carter. It still says 2/26. This was posted January 31st. So when we go back to this last scene, and the when it was reported date may have gotten mixed up, the Ellie response about a mistake is still fake. Last scene is still the most important question. And that's why we started to bring it up December 26th, and we will continue to bring it up. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. So let me know what you think. Do you think this response about a mistake is still fake? Because to me, it is. So again, I want to say thank you to the community. Together we can make waves. I want to say thank you to Jennifer Coffindaffer for bringing it up the last couple weeks. I appreciate that very much. But especially to the community, because we've been asking since December 26th, and there's finally a correction. Now that there has been a correction, I have even more questions. We'll see you on the next live. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Please hit the like if you haven't. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And just wait. You thought you saw passion when I asked for a correction. Look up in the top right. I told y'all I'm already ready for the next set of questions.
You guys are okay over there? Is your victim at the hospital? Someone shot there. Alright, the ET doesn't take pictures of the, is the domestic related? She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson, who's possibly with the daughter. That was it.
2412.
Someone's calling it today as a female. Center of communication. We're checking 12, check that one out.
614, 617.
Also still saying stop, no? Better custody? Very simple with it. Thanks. Anyone else 12 points of the rest, I'll let me know.
Supervisor and Dr. Lab and safety coordinator attached.
First standby.